Yolanda, and I
Yes,
was thinking
Gladys.
your name is really sweet and unique. This is the first time I'm coming across that name. So, but thank you for creating time.
Thank you so much. I get that a lot, that my name is a unique name, and I love it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, I like the sound of it. So, we were having some glitches here and there, but I'm happy that we are now rolling. So let's get
Yeah.
started.
Okay.
And I want us to begin. We'll just go through your academic and life story. The whole aim is for my audience to learn a thing or two, to get to know about opportunities for studies and for work, etc., etc. But
Okay.
this is where I want us to begin, and I'll tell you why. So I was going through the streets of social media, and I think that is where we had talked a while back. But like I got to know your story when many people commented and reshared, um,
Okay.
and um, and you are so raw and real, because many people don't like to share the not so good side or the negative side of their story on social media, but you are really raw and real, and I think that's why many people loved your story. It's been reshared so many times, and I was reading that story, and this is part of it. You said I was elated to have completed my studies. I think that was in the
Yeah.
UK, but also
Yes.
I was worried and I felt lost. And yeah, talk about the reason why I wanted us to start from there is that, and like I mentioned, we rarely talk about the challenges of getting a job after school and all those things. Yeah, what was going on in your mind when you were writing that piece?
I can say I think it's how our job market system work, because you have your masters and you can't get really you can't get really a very nice, you can't get a good job. It's really hard. However much you apply, there's nothing coming forth. You know, one of the things that I really hate with Kenyan system is you don't even get work, like you didn't get a job, you didn't, not, there's nothing, no communication at all. So at this point, I felt like I was a bit like, I wouldn't say bitter, but I would say stressful, because you don't know what to do. You have a master's, but you have to start from somewhere that doesn't fit your skills, because the job market is, I don't know how it works. It's really so hard right here in Kenya. So I felt like telling people the truth, because people think when you have masters, it's automatic. You're just going to get that like, very big job and you're going to be successful instantly. Then you get the mockery from people, you're learned, but you have no job. You shouldn't even have gone. Like, I would prefer like a much better compared to you having a master. So that really is really stressful when it comes to the job market system in Kenya.
Okay, yeah. Talk more about so but finally you got something, yeah. And the reason why
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when I like when you look back, do you think this is something that you wish someone had told you or prepared you for the, like, after you do masters or after you leave Kenya to study abroad, that this is the situation you should be expecting? Because I think when I look back to my situation as well, I was like, I have a certificate from one of the best universities in the world. Surely getting a job should be really easy. But that was not the case. Like, I applied so many positions, etc. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish you had been prepared? And also for the students who are now either starting their studies for masters and whatever, what would you tell them to, like, psychologically have, or I don't know, to better prepare themselves for this after school market?
I really wish someone had told me, because I had no idea. It was like once I get the master's, it's obvious. The job, I land the job immediately. I wish someone had told me that it can be tough, because if I had that knowledge, I wouldn't have felt so much stress looking for a job. At the same time, for those who wish to start their masters, it is a nice way of doing progressing in life. But also, you should also remember that after masters, there's always that transition. It can be a very like immediately you get the job, but also it can take some more time, especially for countries. Kenya, it's really hard. So you need to have that in mindset at the same time, so that you don't get into stress trying to get a job immediately. You are done with your masters. You just have to know it might not be that easy at some point, because it's hard, yeah. And you have to start somewhere. Maybe somewhere where you never expected you would be. Maybe you expected to be here, but you have to start here. So you have to keep that in mind. Because when you have masters from abroad, so what you can get a nice job. That is always our mindset, but that's not the case. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, and well done for persevering. And there is also, like, while I was reading the article, really well written article. You also said you were contemplating doing a PhD,
Yeah.
but then there is somewhere you said it was clear that I would travel back home immediately after my studies. Why was that? Was that like a required scholarship?
Yeah. That was a requirement for my scholarship. For the Commonwealth scholarships, it's always a requirement that you have to go back to your home country and give back to your home country. So it was so obvious that I had to come back, and I didn't want to go against the agreement I had made before going for the scholarship. So I had to come back to home. But at some point, I felt like I wanted to do a PhD, but the pressure that comes after the 1 year intense program, I was just like, I need some break to just cool off and then maybe continue afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now, if we'll talk about the Commonwealth scholarship that you are on. But for the students who are currently applying, or those who are currently planning to start their masters through Commonwealth, what would you like to tell them?
I would like to tell them that I'm just going to be very frank. Commonwealth application for Commonwealth scholarship isn't easy. You have to write really so many things, like a number of them. I can't count them. There's so many. But if you're really dedicated and you want to do it, you can do it. If I did it, then I'm sure you can do it, because it took me time. I remember my first time I applied. I was just applying because people apply. I just applied and submitted, and then of course I got a rejection. For the second time, which I got it now, I really prepared for like 3 months, because I submitted my applications towards mid-December. But I started the preparation from September, because I had to do essays for each campus. I had applied for 4 campuses. So I had to do separate essays. There's the plagiarism thing, so you can't copy paste. So I had to do different essays for the 4 campuses. And then you have to do separately. You have to do for campus. You do a motivational letter, and then with your CV, and then you do to Commonwealth. You apply to Commonwealth, writing to them on what you want to do and in what university. So how they do it is that for Commonwealth Shared, the campus will choose you. When the campus chooses you, they will forward your name to the Commonwealth Commission. So once your name is forwarded to Commonwealth, the Commonwealth will reach out to you asking for a recommendation letter. And that is when you send the recommendation letters, and their decision will be made by the Commonwealth. But the school selects you. That is for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Then there is the Commonwealth Masters. For Commonwealth Masters, someone has to, like an organization or like the government, this FAWE, I don't know what it means in full. They have to nominate you and then send your name, I think, to Commonwealth. That is for how the Commonwealth Masters work. But for Shared, it's from the campus side choosing you, and then they can send your documents to the Commonwealth Commission.
Okay.
What did you want to? Yeah. Is there anything I forgot?
Yeah, no worries. All these questions I'm asking for the guys who are currently applying. So what do you think? What do you think what do you think sets you apart? Was it and I know hata mimi like in terms of writing essays, it's something I struggle with. What do you think, I don't know, like, I don't know, tips and tricks that you use to stand out the following time, like the next time you were applying? Because I think would you say the essays will form, I think, the bigger part in your
Yeah.
shortlisting? Yes.
They really do. Essays really form a bigger part, and you have to be you. You don't have to say something someone else wrote. Maybe you read an essay and you feel like this person did so well, so I'm gonna maybe follow or copy, try to emulate what this other person has done. No, just be you. For my case, I was really frank, because I've done much on environmental side. I was so frank on how the conditions are within Africa, not Africa, within Kenya, and was especially from my community. I did say something about my community. It was on water scarcity, uh, maybe food insecurity, some things that you know are really affecting people within your country or within your community. Just be frank and tell them the truth and know to express yourself. That is really very important. For me standing out, I think I had taken so much time to practice. I was going through your YouTube. I don't know what I was going through YouTube at that time. I was just watching videos. And then one video just popped up, and it was someone explaining how to do essays for Commonwealth. And it was at that time that I was trying to do Commonwealth application. And from then I watched his videos. At some point I feel like his videos were really helpful for my application, because if I hadn't watched them, I don't think I would have gotten, because from that point I got what is really needed for those essays.
All right, and now that took you to which university did you study in the UK, and what were you studying?
I was studying at the University of Glasgow. I wasn't in the main campus. I was in a campus that is 2 hours away from the main campus, from the city. So I was studying MSc in environmental risk management. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What
Mm-hmm.
does that for someone who is not aware of environmental risk management, what does that involve?
I would simply say it's risk assessment. It's more of risk assessment in the terrestrial environment and the aquatic environment, and it's more of natural hazards. I think I really like. I don't know. By the time I was applying for that course, I didn't know it had to do with natural hazards. I have so much interest with watching documentaries on natural hazards. So when I got to the course and it was more of that, I was really interested, because we have the disaster risk management part and disaster risk reduction. So when I realized it was talking more of that on the course, I was really happy, because that is what I've always wanted to explore. And yeah, maybe I would say that is it. I don't want to go deeper into details.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries, no worries. And no, I forgot to mention that. So after you went through like a long cycle of applying and not getting a good job opportunity, did you say you finally got something in the
Yes.
area?
Yeah, I am currently doing my internship at CETA, it's Center for Training and Integrated Research in Arid and Semi-Arid Lands Development. It is in Nanyuki. So yeah, I'm on my seventh or eighth month here. It's been an interesting journey, because I get to do field work. So you know, when you go to field, you get to see how things are at the grassroots. You get to see how environment is really degraded, especially because we do work in the arid and semi-arid areas, mostly in Isiolo, towards the northern parts of Kenya. So it's
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do, like like an average, paint an average day? Like you get to the office, ama you go to the field, and what do you do when you go to the field or when you go to the office?
Okay. To the office, mostly it's more of report writing, and maybe you do research on a given topic that you've been assigned to, and maybe if you, for some cases, maybe when we have workshops, you have to inform, maybe write emails, call and invite those who are needed for the workshop, and then mostly preparation in terms of if you have to go for field work, what are you going to do for that field work, and what is needed for the field work to be successful. Because most of the work, I'm currently involved in two pro, two, yeah, two to three. I'd say two projects. One is one is called Woody Weeds Plus. It's more of dealing with invasive species. There's an invasive species in the northern Kenya called Prosopis mellifera. So that's what we're dealing with at the moment. Although though the project kind of ended last month, but that is what I got in the middle and got to work with. And then the one that is currently active it is called Native Plants for Environment and People. This is where we get to plant native grasses. I say that and people are like, how do you plant grass? You plant native grasses. Native grasses and native tree species in your locality. So for native grasses, we are trying to use it as a form of restoring the rangeland and for livestock. So we have trials. At this point, we have trials. We have like small plots where we planted different types of grasses and legumes. Then get to know if they're really working out within the natural environment in the dry areas. So it's an ongoing process. They have grown. I think it's been a while, but they have grown. Not so bad as we thought. Then for trees, it's obvious. We're doing a restoration of a spring around the still. So we are planting trees, the native tree species that to restore the degraded spring. It's good so far. It's kind of working out because it has started regenerating on its own. That is what I do whenever I go for fieldwork.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, that is very interesting because sorry.
Oh, at times we get to go sensitize these communities. Why are we doing what we want to do? Yeah, make them understand and not make them, allow them to know the need for conservation and protection of the environment.
Okay. No, I wanted to say like in this era of like climate change and what you need climate change mitigation strategies and all that. It sounds like very interesting what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
How was your transition? Like, where were you, Kwanza? Where did you study in Kenya before you got the scholarship? And then you said you worked briefly after your undergraduate. Yeah. Take us through that. Yeah, you worked and then you got the scholarship and then you transitioned to the UK. How was that?
Yeah, so I went to campus in Kenya. I went to Chuka University for my bachelor's. I did bachelor's in environmental science and I graduated in 2019. You know, the happiness you get when you almost graduating. So I was so happy. I was just like, I'll get a job instantly. They normally say my course it's marketable. So I was just like, I'll have a good job. Oh my days. Let me tell you. I finished campus and there was no job. So started in 2019. Yeah. So I graduated in October 2019. After that, I thought jobs will be just following me, but there was nothing. You apply for a job, nothing. Apply because I really regret at some point that I wasted time in undergraduate. I wish I had taken time to apply for scholarships before, because I waited until I had no option. Is when I started making applications. So I went to campus. After campus, I started volunteering. I volunteered for so many months. I think most of my work experience after undergraduate was more volunteering because there was no job, so I preferred to volunteer. So once I volunteered, it was during COVID that I decided to do scholarship application. So I started with my first application, and it wasn't good. Of course, negative replies came in. I did I did so many applications. I did so many scholarship applications. There's one I'd been invited for interview, but I never showed up because it was an online interview. It's for Russia. It's called Open Doors Scholarship. And the mindset I had had people saying about Russia, whatever, I was like, I don't think I want to go there anymore. Even if I've been invited for the interview, I'm not showing up. So I didn't show up for the interview. I applied to Commonwealth. There's Commonwealth Queen Elizabeth. On reaching the halfway, I saw the essays and I was like, "You're not doing this, Yollanda." You know. So like, no, I'm not continuing with this. I didn't continue. I didn't apply anymore. I did Turkey. There's one for Turkey. I think Turkey something something. I never got a reply. So during 2020, that is when I was contemplating. No, 2020 was when I was just doing applications. But in 2021, 2022, 2021, that is when I was like, I know of this Commonwealth, and maybe I should just research on it and get serious and really apply and see if I will get the scholarship. So that is when as I told you earlier on, I did research for like 3 to 4 months for the same scholarship and then did the application. So transitioning it was a good um, from when I moved. I think I never believed I got in the scholarship. Even the moment I boarded the plane in Nairobi, it was just like I was just there, just going. So I boarded the
Why?
plane
Like
and
you were in shock. Like you didn't believe that you had gotten the scholarship. I mean, what was
yes,
bringing that? Yeah.
I was happy at the same time confused. I felt like scared because I don't know anyone from the other side. It's my first
Yeah.
time in a plane, first time in
Mm.
a new country. I've never gone outside Kenya, so I don't know how to navigate around. So I was just like, I don't know how things will turn out, but I'm happy I got the scholarship. So let me go see
Mm.
what the other side of the world holds for me. So I got into the plane. We arrived at Heathrow. I think the first year at Heathrow, and I was just like, oh god. I was supposed to, that was the layover, and then get the next plane to Glasgow. I get the
Yes.
next plane to Glasgow, and temperatures had changed. It was really cold. It's
when
really
did
had.
which month was this?
It was in September. I was
What?
in, that was 19th September, and I arrived at 20th September. So
Okay.
it was cold, and I arrived at Glasgow airport. When I arrived at Glasgow airport, I had to take a bus, which I didn't know. I had to take a to the train station. Then from the train station, take a 1.5 hours train. So when I got to the city, now when I got to the airport, I asked a police officer, I need to go to the train station, blah blah blah. How do I get there? He just pointed a bus. You can get that bus and then it takes you. So I go to the bus and I was scared because I was like, how do I ask these people? You know, the Scottish accent isn't easy. So I tapped one old man. I was like, I'm going to this place. Could you please show me when we get there? He was like, oh yeah, I will be alighting there. Once I'm getting out, I'll let you know. I was happy when we got there. I was just like, it's here. But the problem is, I was tired. I was hungry. I have so many luggages, and there's no one to help me. Of course, I don't. I'm Katainis, so I'm just like, is there anyone to help me? I just dragged my bag and went to the train station. On arriving at the train station, I was like 2 hours early, so I had to wait for some time. I had to wait for some time, so I'm just seated at the train station. I can't go anywhere. If I have to go this side, I have luggage. I can't leave it here. But so I was just like, just wait for the train until that time comes, and then you leave. So I waited, had my ticket. I went to ask one of the people who work for the train station. I was like, this is the train you need to take. So I got into the train and went to Dumfries. Dumfries is like 2 hours away from the city, so when you go towards, it's like towards, should I say the lower, towards the southern, when you go it gets cold. Cold kept increasing, like, I have a jacket. What is happening?
And this is September. You have no idea what is coming in December.
Yes, I had no idea what is coming. I arrived at Dumfries and then, yeah, I had to go to campus, pick my key, and then go to my apartment. So, and by that time, I was like, Dumfries is a small town. It's really small. So when we arrived at the train station, it's like towards outskirts of town. You can't see anything. So I'm just stuck there. I've alighted from the train. No one, except some few people who were alighted from the same train. I was just like, how do we get to where I am? I don't have the SIM cards from there. I don't have anything, but Wi-Fi was working. So I emailed the campus. I'm like, I need an Uber, blah, blah, blah. They're like, we have taxis, so you can call this. I was just like, call. I can't do anything. But someone came and they helped me. I reached campus. I think I was that one person in class who was always called. Everyone knew that Yollanda is always the called person in class because I was complaining. It's cold. It's cold. Yeah, I really didn't like the weather. Transitioning was tough. It was one of the toughest things, and I don't think I ever complied. Like I ever just felt comfortable with the weather. No, there was no point. I was just like, today I feel so good with the weather. No, everything was just no. I don't like the weather here.
No,
Did
I 100% agree with you because we were chatting with Daniel. Daniel studied at the University of Edinburgh, and I was even me. I stayed in the UK. Was it like 4 years? 4 years, but I never got used to the weather. And I
no.
was telling Daniel one day, and I think even Oxford was better compared to you guys up in the north. One
Yeah.
day I was like, let's go to Scotland to explore, and then I took my plane to Edinburgh. I checked in Airbnb and I was like, then I will just like walk around. I stayed in, and I think it was September. Was it September? It wasn't winter for sure. And I stayed in the Airbnb for 3 days. After the third day, nikasema, kesho ni siku. Let me go back. I'll come when it's sunny.
That is
So
not one of the best
I
weather.
get you. I get you.
Yeah, it was really tough.
Yeah. And no, well done. And oh my goodness, like I'm just trying to picture yourself, because for us, we were really lucky because we alighted in London, and we had been given kind of what to expect. So we just alighted at Heathrow, and someone was waiting for us, and they just took our luggage, and we were like chauffeured to school. So I'm
You
just
guys were
picturing
lucky.
to do all the connections and this like new country. Yeah.
You guys were lucky. I had to do it alone. I'll be asking, I am going to this and this place. How do I get there? They just, the good thing is people are good to help and
Yeah.
listen. So they would just be like, you do this and this. And then if you want to, of course, for train, I knew I had to take a train, but I didn't know I have to connect from airport to the city center. That was one part that I was never told. So that's why I had to take a bus, and then from the bus, train. But I really wished I'd been told. I really wished I had been told like you have to take a bus. I didn't know because I thought it's train, the airport train station, something close. No, it's
Yeah.
like some drive, 10 minutes or 7 minutes to the city center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, thank you for sharing. At least the students who would be doing your kind of a journey, they will get an idea from this. And
Sure.
so when you reflect back to your time there, as a student, what was what do you miss the most, or rather, like what did you really enjoy while you were in the UK?
I think the friendship. I think one of the greatest things I really enjoyed was the friendship. I kinda bonded with a group of friends, either from class, and then there were those who lived together, where we would go for events or maybe go out together. It was really interesting, and they were really good to me, and we were just open and free with each other. We would have maybe dinner together, maybe go for occasions within campus together. I remember there was a time I was sick and I had to be admitted, and they were really nice. They had like shifts. This one who comes see me on this day, the other one who comes see me maybe tomorrow. Like it was really good. It was the friendship was one of the best things, and maybe classwork. Okay, I shouldn't be saying I like, but one of the interesting is the units, like the bonding within how the teaching here is like lecturer is a lecturer and teacher is a lecturer is you. There's that separate. But for us, it was like you can just talk with the professor and they just free. It's just okay with you. So at that point, I felt like I didn't have to have like boundaries. I have to fear you. No. By the time they were like, I remember I used to feel so guilty calling a doctor by their names. So one time we went for field doc and they were like, I was supposed to ask her something. So I'm like, do I say doctor somebody or just shout her name? It's like class she had already said, just call me my name. Don't include the other names. I struggled until I was just like, I called her by her name, but I felt guilty because how we have been taught here, you have to refer to someone by their level of study. So I was just like, I don't wanna call her by her name, but I have to because she's okay with that. I think that was one of the best things I liked about them. They're just free. You don't have to have levels. I am someone you need to refer to me this way. Yeah. Maybe what else? What I really enjoyed again, I've said friendship, part of group work. I think group work. I didn't like group works to begin with, but by the time I was finishing my sessions, it was really interesting because we used to have like presentation most of the time, and these presentations kept me engaged and I interacted with so many people within our class and different because we had sessions where we had to share with other classes, and that was interesting. I enjoyed my sessions for that. Oh, and maybe traveling, of course, and there are beautiful sceneries within Scotland. Yeah, you travel from one town to another. You have monuments. You have what is the name? The name has gone. But there's so many beautiful sceneries within the Scotland region, which I really liked, especially during summer, of course, not during winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And for the scholars, students, Commonwealth scholars, or all the other students who I know most of them they are departing Kenya this month, next month, for their studies abroad. What piece of advice would you give them as they plan to start their postgraduate journey abroad?
I would tell them be psychologically prepared. Transitioning could be hard. It took me like 3 months. By the time I got to feel comfortable in Scotland, it took me 3 months because I used to feel like I don't belong here. I don't like the weather. I feel like an outsider because I felt that fear within me. And what I would tell them is you just need to be ready for anything and know like it will take time. It isn't easy. I used to laugh at people when they say you feel lonely. So when someone would say I went abroad and I felt lonely, I would just be like, are you even listening to yourself? Lonely and you're abroad. Yeah, that is one of the ones. I felt lonely at some point, and there's no way you just don't find people to express to at times because everyone is dealing with their own things. At the same time, you don't have people you can speak the same language. I really wanted to speak Swahili at some point, but there's no one I can talk to. All we have to speak in English like the entire time. So it felt lonely for for like 3 months until I got the friends I got, and that was so interesting. After I got friends, I was just comfortable. I was just like, this is what I've needed for a long time. They just be what else? I think that is just be prepared. It can be tough at times because it isn't that easy. Changing and transitioning from one place to another, it's difficult, and it can take so much time. Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we will we'll move now from the UK to if you can touch on the kind of job you are work you were doing just before you left for the UK, if you're comfortable sharing.
Okay.
And even apart from that, I also want you to reflect back to your time in Chuka. You mentioned that if you were to go back, you'd start applying for scholarships really early. What other things that you think you would do differently if you were to go back to campus? And the reason I'm asking this is because there are hundreds of students who are just in Kenya who are just starting their campus life, and hopefully when they listen to you reflecting back, hopefully they can learn from that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
before I went to UK, I was working in a consultancy company. I was working in an health and safety company where we do audits, the health and safety audits, the occupational health and safety. So I was working in Nairobi from February 2022 to to August 2022. That is when I was working at the company. This is where we used to go to organizations or companies and do audits, the occupational health and safety audits. Yeah, I didn't stay from so long because it was from February to August. And that is when I got the scholarship and had to leave. Yeah. For students, I don't like regrets. Like I am always like I never want regrets in my life. Even if things didn't turn out the way I wanted, regrets shouldn't be something I want to talk to. But I think one of the greatest regrets I have is the one for not applying early. Like something had to push me to apply for it. I wish I really had taken time before and just research on scholarships. Scholarships, those wishing to apply, there's so many scholarships. If you just get this social media, either LinkedIn, YouTube, there are people who are sharing scholarship opportunities. So if you really need to explore more on academia, there is a possibility you will get when you get to search on these opportunities. What would I have done differently? I think I was, if I had to go back? Maybe my timing. It's just the move. I would have taken so much time in getting to know scholarships and exploring on them because I don't think I took so much interest in it before. I didn't care about it because I knew once I'm done with campus I'll have a job. No, yeah, that is what I thought at the beginning, but it wasn't the same case. So if you have to start scholarship, maybe you should start now, even if you're just starting small, just like 100 words a day or 50 words a day. That will make a difference for you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I normally just like, reflecting back to that time. And I think we can all learn from other people's stories. And that's why we share all these stories. So yeah, thank you for sharing about that. So before Chuka, where were you studying?
Oh, I went to Segero. I was studying in Eldoret. I went to Segero Adventist High School. Yeah, that is where I studied for my high school education in Eldoret.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Segero because I in my class I think we had one guy from Segero, and then it's doing really well in school.
Yeah, Segero was that school. It was one of the best performing schools from Eldoret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I want you to reflect back to your journey you've had from Segero through Chuka, you've gone to Glasgow, and all these like inspiring journey you've had. What is one lesson you've learned?
I think one lesson I've learned is determination and patience. Because if I wasn't that determined to to go to UK, I don't think I would. I remember by the time in 2021 December, my aunt was coming. She was jetting in from outside the country, and I was the one sent to pick her. I went to pick her from the airport. So when I met her from at the airport, I was just like, by next year I won't be in Kenya. And she was like, how do you know that? I was just like, I just know I won't be in Kenya. She was like, yeah, I wish you all the best. So at that point, I was just like, I didn't know I was going to UK, to be sincere, because I hadn't even started applications. So I really felt like I needed to study somewhere different and do something different for my education if I needed to improve my career. So by the time by the time I did that, I was so determined. Even if someone would talk negative about it, I didn't want to listen to that. I was just like, I want to do this, and this is what I want. And for the patience part is, I had gotten so many rejections. By the time I got the one acceptance, there were so many rejections for me. If I wanted to give up, I would have given up all along the way. But I was like, no, I think it's high time I just keep on. And as much as I haven't gotten what I want, I'll just keep going. And that is what I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Determination and patience. I love that.
Maybe and resilience, the ability to bounce back, the ability to bounce back after maybe feeling low. Because there's some days I'll just sit, I'm like, no, I don't feel like doing these applications anymore. I wanna give up, but no, I never gave up, and here I am.
Yeah, and well done. Well, it's not easy. It's
easy.
Yeah. When you apply and you get it, it's good. But when you don't get what you want, it's very easy to just like, watch I kai.
Yeah. Because it's not easy. Not that easy.
Yeah. No, well done. Well, really well done. And thanks for sharing that. I'm also curious to know how people see the world. And so I normally like asking this question, that if you had, if you are the queen, if you are the queen of the world with all the powers and all the money, what is one thing you would change immediately?
I think
something that you don't like in the world.
I think leadership, the political leadership. That is, I don't like politics, but how people lead, how our leaders have been, how our leaders are is just something I don't like, especially the corruption part. If I had to change, I'll just make people do the right thing at the right time and not have to embezzle funds just for their own good. They would just do the right thing, and then for the people who elected them. I think that is one of the worst things that I feel needs really to be maybe corrected, but it's it's not an easy thing. So if I had a superpower, I would go change their minds and make them make them do the right thing. But yeah, that is where we are. I can't do anything at this point.
Yeah. I mean, this is really powerful because this is coming. We all saw what was going on in Kenya. People really wanting change, and so I think what you are saying, it resonates with many people.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like assuming again you had all these powers, where do you picture yourself? I know things do change, like next year maybe you get something else and you go different direction, but like Sai, where you are seated, if you were just to fantasize about 10 years or 10 years from now, where are you seeing yourself?
That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Where do I see myself in 10 years?
Are you still in maybe environmental leadership?
Yeah. I think I would want to stick to my lane. I am so passionate to environmental things, especially with the impact of climate change at the moment. I would want to be in that field for the rest of my life. I'm so passionate about disaster risk reduction. I'm always like, if there was a way to stop environmental crises from happening and causing so many devastations among the people, I would have. But before we get there, there's so many things that need to be done in between here. So if I were in my 10 years, maybe I would, yeah, definitely do a PhD on something, maybe natural hazards, yeah, then come back. If I have to be here, I will share my knowledge in disaster risk reduction as well as disaster management. That would be something I would want to do, something that I would want to be doing for my daily life, something that deals with environment, disasters, maybe resilience after the occurrence of natural hazards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, excellent. Excellent. Because of time, I think we'll just wind up there.
It's
so,
okay.
if do you have any A or B that anything we forgot to touch on that my audience can benefit from?
Not really. What would I say? It's whatever you want. Let me try to frame it. So for your audience, what I would tell them is if you really want a career growth or you want to pursue maybe masters or PhD. Okay, I don't know about PhD, masters abroad. You need to be prepared. You have to really get ready and know what you want and in what university. You just don't sit and be like, today I want to apply for scholarship. No, get to know what you want, in which campus are you ready to start the journey? Because even the studies there are not easy. Writing essays, right? I used to think I was supposed to do exams, but I never did any exam. I did essay writing because those were how you are evaluated. So I did essays, and at some point I remember asking my supervisor, my lecturer, can I have exams instead of essays? And they're like, no. That is how the course has been prepared. You have to do essays because with essays you have to do so many things to do. So you really have to be prepared and know how things work outside there. Our system, our Kenyan system and the Scottish system, okay, maybe UK system, they're totally different. The way we do things here and the way they do things there, they're two different things. So be prepared for that. If you are into this, you have to be prepared. Sometimes it's shocking. You might have been the best student here and you get there and you just get marks and you're like, is this me? Maybe I'm not ready for this. Yeah. I would just say like, be prepared. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. That preparation, that preparation is key. I agree. Well, I forgot to ask your other hobbies, Yollanda.
Oh God, I have hobbies.
Anything you're passionate about outside the disaster management?
Oh, outside the disaster. Okay, I would say watching series. I'm a big fan of watching.
Yes.
What else?
Which one did you watch? Which series did you watch? Your latest series that you enjoyed a lot?
The Rookie.
Okay.
It's a nice series. I like the investigative part of movies. So I recently watched The Rookie.
Yes.
Yeah. Apart from that, maybe traveling. I like traveling. I like traveling much. Maybe going to places, but at this point I haven't traveled. It's been a while since because of work. And I do go for field works anyway. I used to play football long time ago, and then I stopped. So I don't do it anymore.
Did you miss a team? Is it because you don't have a team? Ama the interest went away?
I never got a team to begin with because I used to play football in primary school, and then I moved to campus. No, not campus, high school. For high school, I played for quite some time. Then I got an injury. After injury, I took a break, went back to it, and then Form 4 happened. I had to leave. in campus, I didn't venture into it. I did just a small bit of it, and then I stopped. Yeah, and I never
Okay.
got a team. I never got people who we were inclined to like playing football. Yeah, so that's how I
Yeah.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no worries. I think I also love football. That's why I was asking a lot of questions on that.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe we should have a tournament
We
of two
we
people.
should form a team. We should form a team.
We should.
Although now, I don't know about you, but like what I found in Kenya is that it's very common for guys, our like I wanted to say our age, but I think I'm way older than you. But I just wanted to say, like, at our age, if you find
Mhm.
women our age like playing soccer for fun, people are like, "Are you? What is wrong with you?"
They're making it look so weird. I know they make it look like you're just not serious with your life. Why are you playing football at your age? I know they just make it like it's so fun for ladies to play football, but for them it's just
Yeah,
okay.
I
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
But anywho, we'll form a team sometime.
We
Okay,
should.
Sawa. Yeah. Sawa Yolanda, I want to say thank you so much. We had some challenges trying to
It's
to
okay.
connect with this virtual studio, but finally we were able to record an episode. So I appreciate your time and your patience, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. I never knew I would get to talk to you because I got to know you a long time ago. I think I was in campus or after campus. And then yeah, I think I connected with you so long. Kitambo sana. And then nilikuwa naonanga tu Dr. Gladys. I'm like, I really want to know. By the time we graduated, I think you graduated at 20, was it 29 years old? I was listening to it, I'm like, how does someone do master's PhD by 29? Nilikuwa najiuliza maswali mingi. I'm just like, I wish ningetaka tu kukutana naye. Look at me now. I am with you.
You are making me blush. But no, I didn't do a master's, and that
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
the truth. That is why I was able to graduate mapema. I got a panya
No,
route.
haina shida. Unajua
Yeah,
kutransition pia kutoka bachelor's to PhD. I think that is the hardest.
yeah. Oh no, UK almost killed me, man. Yeah, like I think I was depressed. Unaona hiyo 3 months yako unasema you took 3 months. I think me I took 6 months. God, I was actually depressed at some point because I think at that time I do want to acknowledge, and then in the way in Kenya generally people don't talk sana about
Yeah,
like
yeah.
mental health. But I just
Mhm.
remember, and you actually said something about it. Like I was trying to rant to my friends in Kenya, and they're like, Gladys, kama mimi niko Oxford, me I would not complain. Like, why are you complaining? And you're like, Oxford.
Hiyo ndo kitu ilikuwa inaniboo.
I know. So people kind of dismiss, and so it was really hard opening up to people back home and everyone else, my family, all my friends, they were in Kenya. But then now, sasa kuna siku literally because I felt like I was dropped in the deep end of the swimming pool because like you mentioned now from bachelor's to PhD and it's in one of the top universities, it was rigorous. Kuna siku literally nilikuwa naamka asubuhi, naenda naoga, I take my breakfast, but then and then I go to the door. I open the door. I want to go to the lab, but I just can't. Like I just couldn't. And then I will just like close the door, back to bed, curtains, sleep. Niamke like
Yeah.
around last hour, go to the track. Uzuri, I think the sports for me helped me. I think I was going to go mad if it wasn't for athletics and soccer. So I played a footer and a lot of running. People could see me training and I was running like a mad woman, mostly because I was just trying to release the stress. What another Gladys anatia bidii. Anyway, just to say, it wasn't really easy, and I think many people
Yeah.
it's not really easy for many people to transition. Like you left your family, your loved ones, and like you mentioned, the place is lonely and the academic rigor, it's a different system ish.
Yeah. I think kuna
Yeah.
kuna kuna time mimi ningefungua tu time ya dissertation. I would just
Yes.
wake up, go sit at the table, na nifungue screen. I'm just staring at the screen. I'm just there. I don't know. I'm just like, what do I do? At some point, I was like, should I go tell my supervisor I don't want to do it? Maybe I go back. And then I'm like, oh no, you came for UK for your studies. No matter how much, you're not doing this. For an entire week, ningeamka niangalie laptop. And I'm like, no, I can't do this at this point. Maybe I should just take a break or something like sort of for a very long time. It took me so long, especially at time. But then after I was done, I was just like, oh yeah, I can enjoy the fruits now.
Yeah. No, it's not easy.
It's not easy. And when you explain to people, they don't see it. They're just like, just like, there's no way I can explain it to you. You guys will not know unless you are there.
Yeah.
It is very tough.
So yeah, let's close the podcast here. Just to say thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.